All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all, back with the big one. Here's the main event, Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield. All right, man. Told y'all, man. Let me say that. Let me just go ahead and say that right away, man. I told y'all, look, Blanchfield had the skills to do this. I did. And, I know right off top, a lot of people felt Erin Blanchfield didn't have the levels. And I can agree. This was her first top 10 opponent. But like I said before, I've been watching Erin Blanchfield, and she's been growing as a fighter. And people have to understand that she has been making improvements. I mean, right away when people see it, it's not like these big changes, but she's been making some nice little changes to her game. And that's the thing about technique. Look, technique is a beautiful thing, but it's not always pretty. I know some people won't understand what I mean, but for the ones that do, you know exactly what I mean. Technique is a beautiful thing, but it's not always pretty, okay? And now, I'm going to be honest. Look, I was torn with this one. I was torn with this fight. I was a little influenced by everyone's take on Andrade and my own, myself, off of past experiences and past performances of Andrade. I know what she can do. I know what she does. Reality is Andrade is experienced and she's dangerous. But there was something about the skills. There was something about the skills in Erin Blanchfield that just made this one hard to jump on the Andrade train right away. Now, when it came to the Tyler Santos fight, I was picking Tyler Santos. Y'all know I was picking Tyler Santos almost for sure against Erin Blanchfield. But for this one, it was different because of styles and body type. I said, you know what? There's a big danger factor here, of course, because this is Andrade, but the body type is different here. And if Erin Blanchfield, she can go in there and execute certain things with her ground game, going by the body type here, I think she can control Jessica Andrade, So I thought, Erin's chances were higher. The toughest part of picking was knowing that this was the highest level of opposition on Blanchfield's resume. I mean, it was a huge jump, 7 or 8 spots up. So this was a major test. And knowing that and what Andrade is capable of, it does make it harder to pick right away, right? But I believe what Erin could do. I believe that she had certain skills that could pull off the upset if she could get that opportunity. Her skills haven't been tested by the top 10 fighters, but I've been watching Blanchfield, and I knew if her BJJ would come into play and she can get it there, it's going to be her fight, all right? It was going to be her fight, and that's the reason I put Blanchfield on my top threat list is because of how skilled she is. Not how pretty her style is, but it's how she grows and how she improves and how she fights with confidence, all right? Like, if you go back and look at all her fights, like, there's some things that y'all say, okay, it might not look too good. She was losing the round against J.J. Aldridge and so on. But you can always say that she fights with confidence and she's always looking for that. She's always looking for that win. It's the subtle but critical changes she's making in every fight. And it does look, to me, it looks like a lot. To some people, it don't look like much, but to me, it's a lot. All right. And Erin Blanchfield, right away in this fight, you could just see that confidence in her eye. And I think Jessica Andrade, she felt it. She felt it for sure right away, and she experienced just going by her body language. So when it came down to it, I said, I'm riding with Erin all the way. I know I was kind of hobbling the fence on it because, again, Andrade is Andrade, but I put all my chips on this one. I put the chips on Blanchfield for sure, and I wasn't going to do a fan pick and just say, a real pick. I said, I'm gonna ride it out with my fighter. Shout out to BJ because, like you always say, if it's part of your threat, you gotta ride with him all the way to the end, and I did that. I said it's all Blanchfield, and Blanchfield went in there, rose to the occasion, and in similar fashion to the Bullet, got Andrade out of there in 2, right? So you got to give this fighter credit all day long. So going back and looking at the first round, right away, Erin Blanchfield, she did what the best fighters do against Andrade, all right? She already separated herself right away. She said there's a blueprint, and I know what to do. And what was that? She started pumping that jab out. She kept that jab in Andrade's face, didn't back down to the power of Jessica, and right there, that had me hyped. It had me going right there because I said, okay, this is the game plan that you need against a fighter like Erin, against Jessica Andrade. Erin Blanchfield, she was executing a good game plan of not backing down. Like, you don't want to trade with a puncher like Andrade, right? You want to bully a fighter like Andrade. There's 2 differences, right? Like, you don't go in there and trade with Mike Tyson. You bully Mike Tyson. You bully the bully. That's kind of like Evander Holyfield, the approach he took against Mike Tyson. And that's what this fight kind of reminded me of, is like when you got a good, strong, well-rounded fighter going against a nightmare puncher or just somebody that's known as a nightmare. They have that reputation, right? You kind of have to meet them head on. Now, you don't trade with them. You just have to meet them head on and let them know that, hey, I'm not backing down, right? And that's the approach that she took in this fight. She didn't back down to the power of Jessica Andrade. She was attacking the lead leg, mixing in some nice 1-2s after just pumping that jab out and just using, multiple strikes, attacking the lead leg of Jessica Andrade and going for takedowns. Like, she didn't get any takedowns in the first round. Andrade was defending those well, but Blanchfield was shockingly just backing up Andrade, staying out of range and turning some nice angles. Good footwork. She was stiffing Andrade with right hands, making Andrade resort to her old ways. Like, as soon as she started popping her, Andrade was getting mad. She was coming right at her, just swinging wild. Like, so right there, when she took her out of that game plan, I was pretty much like, this might be a wrap. Now, the pace was kind of fast, and that's why I was like, I don't know if Blanchfield's going to be used to this, but if Blanchfield can keep this up, this is going to be her fight. And then Blanchfield took some of Andrade's best power shots and never backed down. I was like, okay, here we go. And then she came back with combinations and clinch pressure. Right away, Blanchfield just stood in there and beat Andrade on the feet. I didn't think it was going to go that way. I thought it would have been more so of a mauling on the ground for Blanchfield, but she showed me something. She showed that level on the feet that said, okay, I can stand in here. I can take away the power. I can take away the range, by pumping my jab out. Just all around smart approach by Erin Blanchfield. Second round, Blanchfield back to attacking the lead leg and just using her footwork. Nice little subtle movements on the feet. Heads off the line too, if you notice. Like, her head wasn't straight up and down in this fight. It was kind of like cocked at an angle, so the jab could land, but her head was, kind of already slightly off the line. So, Andrade couldn't get to her, jab, and then she dropped the level and got the takedown. Andrade on her back, like I said, it's not a pretty sight. I don't think Andrade is like the best off of her back. She's a physically strong fighter, but when you kind of pin her down on your back and you have good top control, this is where Blanchfield's jiu-jitsu comes in. I mean, as soon as she got her down, she went from half guard to side control, and that's all she needed. And from there, I was like, okay, it's either going to be a finish on with Blanchfield on top, but Andrade was able to get up, and as soon as she gave up her back, I said, this is it. This is it, because as soon as you give a jiu-jitsu practitioner like Erin Blanchfield the neck or the back, she's taking it. And as soon as she got up, you could just see Erin Blanchfield had it from there. She slid in the RNC with ease, and boom. Like I said, if there's an opening, Erin Blanchfield will take it, and she got it. Andrade tapped via rear naked choke, just like that. I was like, wow. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't call it in the second round, because I said I'm not sure if she could do it like Valentina and end Andrade in the second round. But I said at some point when she gets this fight to the ground, it's going to favor her. It doesn't matter about how strong Jessica Andrade is in this fight because of the body type. See, if this was Tyler Santos, it's a different story because she's a little bit, bigger, longer, and she knows how to utilize her body better with her BJJ when she's in that position. That's why she had Valentina in so many positions and in trouble in times. And even like she was able to neutralize Jillian Robertson's jiu-jitsu as well. This is Tyler Santos I'm speaking of. But like Jessica Andrade, once you put her on her back and you're a physically strong fighter yourself and your grappling is on point, then boom, you pretty much got her. And Erin Blanchfield, I was pretty much 100% with her when this fight goes to the ground. I know a lot of people weren't, but I was. Now, the feet I wasn't sure on, but she got me there too. She was like, just blowing Andrade out the water. So much props to Erin Blanchfield for sure. And I know people are going to try to take away from this one and say, okay, Jessica Andrade took the fight on short notice. They're going to make excuses. But, hey, she took the fight on short notice, but everybody still thought she was going to get starched. I mean, there was pics out there that said she was going to get knocked out in the first round, right? So y'all still believed in Jessica Andrade. I did as well, So got to give this girl full credit. She took on a former champion, a fighter with some of the most spectacular wins in WMMA, and she neutralized her. I mean, she neutralized her, fought her with confidence, and finished her. So, yeah, man, Erin Blanchfield, to me, she's always growing as a fighter. Like I said yesterday, some of y'all don't see it. Y'all don't really give her enough credit. And the thing is, it's like I said, it's because, it's not pretty to y'all. But y'all got to understand her technique is still beautiful. The technique is a beautiful thing, but it's not always pretty. And by that, I mean, she knows how to go in there and make these little changes and improve as a fighter. And that itself is a beautiful thing, always improving as a fighter taking what you taking what you did wrong in the last fight and making it better in the next fight, right? That's what Erin Blanchfield does. Most people are looking for, pretty, they're looking for pretty moves, pretty technique all the time, pretty skills like Rose Namajunas, her footwork, her accurate striking, right? Or they're looking at Jessica Andrade, her powerful knockouts. They're looking at Wei Lee, the speed and the athleticism, and how she can brawl on the inside or how she can take certain fighters out, right? They're not looking at fighters who can just go in there and make these subtle changes and get the job done, right? That's how Erin is. It kind of reminds me of the boxer Andrade Ward. Like Andrade Ward was not necessarily the prettiest fighter in there. Like he wasn't like the prettiest defensive specialist like Floyd Mayweather was, right? Floyd Mayweather's a work of art watching him, just kind of utilize that shoulder roll to the best of his ability or walk guys down and just make, brilliant decisions as far as making adjustments in there. It's pretty to watch. Roy Jones, one of the best fighters, is when it comes down to pure athleticism and speed, all of that stuff, is pretty to watch. But somebody like Andrade Ward, he has great technique. It's just he doesn't do one thing spectacular. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have like the best jab. He doesn't have a lot of power. He doesn't knock a lot of guys out. But it's how he fights in there and how he adds more to his arsenal. He knows how to neutralize guys. He can brawl. He can take away your power. He can maul you. He can, just break you down and just have you frustrated in there, right? That's kind of how Erin Blanchfield does. She can strike. She can wrestle. She can take you down. She can submit you. She can use kickboxing, knock you out with the head kick, right? So you have to look at those little things. And like I said, it may not be pretty, but it's getting the job done. And it's definitely doing it in some, spectacular fashion. You know what I mean? So from here, Erin Blanchfield definitely got my respect even more so. Even if this was a short notice, Andrade was a big test for her, and she did it. She didn't need 5 rounds like I thought. She went in there, got the job done. I think, we have to take our hat off to her. We got a new contender, and she solidified it by calling out the winner of Shevchenko versus Grasso, right? And that's what we wanted to hear. She calls out the winner of Shevchenko Grasso. She said, "That's what's next. That's what's up," right? But my final thoughts, guys. Like I said, there's a reason why I put Erin Blanchfield in my threat list from day one. I've been watching her since she was like 18 years old, since she made her debut. And some people just say, oh, she's not this, she's not that. She still got stuff to prove. Okay, I understand. Look, she's got stuff to prove. Okay, she's got a lot of stuff to prove. But like the little things I'm looking at and the type of fighter she is, she's gonna make it. She's gonna go far in there because what she lacks in certain things, she'll go back and improve, or what she lacks at the time, she'll make up for it. Even in like the JJ Aldrich fight, she's not the best striker, but she's looking for that moment to strike. And it works, it works. So, again, props to Erin Blanchfield. Jessica Andrade, this was probably just, a setback, a minor setback for her. She's a tough fighter for sure, pound for pound, one of the best. But from here, I think she needs to go back down to 115. I think this worked out perfectly for the division, 100%, because now she can continue her mission at 115. That's where she needs to be, right? She needs to be a strawweight, fighting strawweight contenders to get that rematch with Zhang Weili. Not going in here trying to crush these flyweight dreams, right? Flyweight division, right now we got a lot of hungry fighters out here, that need to be next in line for Valentina and start calling her out, right? So Jessica Andrade, take it on back down to 115 where you need to be. Go back on that mission. This was just a minor setback from here, guys. But Erin, I think we know who's going to be cage side in a couple weeks, watching Shevchenko versus Grasso. And I'm all for it. Combo Breaker 99, guys. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.